What up, YouTube? R to the double. Y'all know what it is, coming at you once again. And I'm here with my second video, second collection video, just like I told y'all. And this one's about another franchise. It's one of my favorite franchises, one of my favorite properties, one of my favorite things in this world since I was a young child, probably around 8 or 9, maybe 10. I think it might have been when the first movie came out. And the latest movie in the franchise just dropped earlier this year. Of course, we got some knucklehead critics giving it bad reviews, putting hate on it. I think they're haters. I don't care. I think the movie was phenomenal. And I am talking about none other than Jurassic Park. Loved Fallen Kingdom. I was so happy to see the dinosaurs get out, and now there's no more islands. As much as I loved all our adventures through all those islands, I love the fact that they're loose in the population, in the human populace, in towns and in cities across the world now. Can't wait to see how this last chapter in the franchise turns out. I would like to see a return, though, to Isla Sorna, the island from the Lost World and from Jurassic Park 3. Just for a little bit of that movie, and then bring it back to the humans. But either way, that's neither here nor there. We talking Jurassic Park, man, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games across 5 different consoles to show you, okay? So my Jurassic Park library, collection is pretty legit on video games. Of course, there's some games out there I don't own, but it is what it is, man. So we're just gonna start right off the top with Super Nintendo, the original Jurassic Park, made by Ocean. This game is a top-down, Zelda-style top-down camera view type of an exploration adventure game. That is, of course, when you're not walking into buildings, because when you walk into buildings, it's one of the early attempts to do first-person 3D, like a Duke Nukem or a Wolfenstein. But on the Super Nintendo, which was limited hardware for what they were trying to do. But it still blew my mind as a kid. And even now when I play it, I laugh because it stutters so bad, and it's not all there, but it's still a novel concept, and it is playable. It's not broken or anything. But it's cool to see the raptors, the pixelated raptors, and the pixelated Dilophosaurus is right there just staring at you when you walk into a room. And then as you approach and get closer, then they start coming at you, and you're shooting in first person, or throwing bola snares or smoke grenades or whatever. And you even got to get batteries for your night vision goggles, so when you go into a dark room, it goes night vision, green and black. Pretty fucking badass, man. But the game as a whole is mostly top-down exploration throughout the inside and outside of the park on Isla Nublar. And you're trying to collect dinosaur eggs. And it's a difficult game, but it's fun because it's such a big world for the type of game they were trying to do. So there's a lot of places to go and just try to avoid the raptors. There's one clearing where when you come down into that clearing, the T-Rex comes out of nowhere and you got to run from him because if you stop, he'll chomp you down. You're just trying to find key cards to advance to different buildings. And you're trying to find eggs from the different dinosaur species. And it's cool because you find locations like the raptor pen, the raptor paddock from the movie, and you can enter it and go into that 3D mode and all that. Pretty cool. Very challenging. Great music. Great soundtrack, man. This has some really good, I'm talking about Castlevania good music on the Super Nintendo, man. So that's the first one. Followed directly by the sequel, Jurassic Park 2, The Chaos Continues. This game goes off script. It's not canon as far as we know. It does have elements from the movie and the story of the Lost World as far as Biosyn and that evil corporation trying to take InGen's dinosaurs and research away from them and trying to profit off of it. But it goes on its own like spin-off type of thing. And you play, I don't know who you are. You don't look like Alan Grant. You look like just some random explorer. And when you play in 2-player co-op, the second player is a black dude. So you're just this white dude and black dude running with guns throughout the island. Side-scroller fashion this time. Better graphics. Same great music, same great soundtrack, made by Ocean as well. And it has a really cool opening cinematic, animated, hand-drawn, very high quality for a 16-bit console, with voice acting and music and everything. And it shows you how they're planning to invade the island and take the dinosaurs and the assets off the island and profit off them. Great music, like I said. Just very, very impactful entrance, to the game. And then, it's open in the sense that you have access to all 8 or 7, however many worlds there are, levels there are, and you can pick whichever one you want right off the bat. You can just, kind of like in Zelda Breath of the Wild, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. Here, you can pick whatever level you want, whatever order you want, and as you're going through it, you're trying not to kill any dinosaurs because there's a counter, and it can't get too low because then you fail, unless they're raptors. Raptors, you can fuck them up. But it's really good, really fun, a good shooter, dude. Contra style, side scrolling, running and gunning. Some cool concepts like walking into the background to end up in another part of the level, coming back, real cool, man. And there's nothing more I can say. Very fun to play, especially with a friend. Me and my cousins used to play this co-op all the time. Very good. I move on to the Sega Genesis Jurassic Park games, and I have two of them. I think there was only two, but I have two of them. I have the first one and the sequel. And like, this is what I loved about this time as a gamer, the 16-bit wars, is that you had, as I've mentioned before, you had games that were the same property, the same intellectual property, the same franchise, the same character on both the systems, completely different from each other, completely different games, and both quality. Like if you look at Aladdin, which is another Sega Genesis game I have, Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo versions completely different, both awesome. I love that. Nowadays it's the same game on every system. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of boring. So we jump to the classic, and I have the full box and instruction manual and everything. Jurassic Park, the original, on Sega Genesis. Now this one, graphics blew the Super Nintendo out of the water. Now, I'll just be real with you. They were more photorealistic, more digitized. So the dinosaurs looked like they're actual stop-motion animation models that were used in the movie, whether the Raptor, the T-Rex, or the Dilophosaurus, all of them looked real cool. The stages were more side-scrolling, exploring, but it really was just get from A to B. It wasn't as open as the Super Nintendo version. The cool thing was that you got to play as either Alan Grant or the Velociraptor. You got to play as either the dinosaur or the human. And you had somewhat different levels, somewhat different path from beginning to the end, depending on which one you were, but in the end, you both met up. So as Grant, you have a variety of weapons, tranquilizers, stun guns, grenades, whatnot. As the Raptor, you just have your claws, teeth, speed, jumping ability out the wazoo. You could jump like on anything from any height. It was awesome, though. The way the characters moved. Again, a good musical score, good soundtrack, even for the Sega Genesis, which is saying something because the Genesis sound capabilities were so limited compared to the Super Nintendo. But yeah, man, really good game. This is one of the first games I ever played on a Sega Genesis. I used to rent a Sega Genesis console at least 3 times in that year from a Blockbuster. From those of y'all old enough to remember what Blockbuster was and renting consoles and all that. And Jurassic Park was one of the first games I rented. And when I played it, how real it looked, how great the graphics were, sold me. It was this and Echo the Dolphin. They got me to get my mom to buy me a Sega Genesis. Then the sequel, Jurassic Park Rampage Edition. Same exact graphical aesthetic, except for some stupid reason they added this like black crayon outline around the characters, around the Raptor, around Grant. I don't know why. That just made it look stupid. Because the characters still look real and great, but then they got this black like pencil outline around them. It's like, don't do that. But the game was real fun. Really cool level designs. Branching paths, so to speak. You know, you can go to, it's like a level tree and you pick which one you want to go to. Same thing, man. Same thing. Grant, you know, fighting against the mercenaries from Biosyn who were trying to invade the island and, you know, take the dinosaurs, yada, yada, yada. Same thing. Side-scrolling, a lot of access to weapons. If you're the Raptor, same thing. Very fun, man. Just a good follow-up, man. After that, we go to the Sega CD. Jurassic Park on the Sega CD. Now, this game is badass, but it is super difficult because it's one of those classic point-and-click adventures. Like, it's an exploration game, but with the point-and-click aesthetic. So something might be hiding in the grass there that you need to find, and unless you pass your cursor over that small little area and see it turn into a magnifying glass, you'll miss it and you'll be stuck. The premise is the same thing. Evil corporations invading the island. You've been sent there. You crash land on the island, and now your job is to get one egg from each species into the incubator in the visitor center and call InGen for help so they can extract it before the 24-hour clock or whatever it is runs out and Biosyn gets the eggs. Real cool. I need to watch a playthrough of this game to play through the entire thing because I've been far, but I get stuck. But it's very fun, very open. The world looks beautiful. The graphics of the Sega CD were awesome back then, better than Genesis, you know, and we're able to do more. And then the full motion video cutscenes when you were traveling from one location to the other were just such a novel thing back then. It was awesome, man. This one has a special place in my heart, and I'm definitely going to go back, watch a playthrough, and beat the motherfucker. Next, Sega Saturn. Jurassic Park, The Lost World. The sequel, you know, the second movie. And this one's kind of cool. I've only played it a few times. I mean, I played it a lot back in the day, but recently, to remember, I've only played it a few times. And you can play, if I'm not mistaken, you play as different dinosaurs, and you're just going to different parts of the island and having to deal with the natural predators. I don't remember, let me see, 5 characters, including a mighty T-Rex, a raptor, a compy, and a human hunter, and a scientist. Yeah, so you could pick between any one of those characters and go to different levels and in that island, Isla Sorna, deal with the different hazards. Graphically, it was very nice for the time, man. Sega Saturn was showing you some, you know, when you're used to Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, or even Sega CD, here comes the Sega Saturn, and it's like the dinosaurs look much better. There's a little bit of a 3D aspect to the game. You know, it's not just going left and right. You're going like kind of like you can go a little bit into the depth of the world. Not much. It ain't Mario 64, but you know, it was there. You know, it was just a fun game, man. From what I remember, it's another one that I need to go back and play. Check out that disc. You know, so. And last but not least, we've got one of my favorite all-time games. But fuck, bro, I own 2 copies of it, and it just doesn't read. It's pristine. Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. It is a pristine disc. I think it's my actual original Xbox. I might need to get another one or whatever because the game just does not want to read. And I've read about this online. I looked it up. This game does have a hard time reading on certain original Xboxes. But it's awesome. It is a park simulator, a park builder, where you just build your own Jurassic Park. Breed your own dinosaurs. Put up concession stands. Make the paths. Hire people to clean the park. Deal with natural disasters that come through. And it's like a sim, like a roller coaster tycoon, but Jurassic Park. Awesome. You could put dinosaurs in the same enclosure, have them fight. When the dinosaurs get out, they devour the guests. I mean, it is so much fun, man. This is a great game, and I have to find a way to make this work again because it's such a great game, man. That's my entire Jurassic Park collection, man. I'm dying to get. That's why I was dying to get Jurassic World Evolution on the PS4 because of this game. You know what I'm saying? But the PS4 be pissing me off, man. That shit, that system is the worst quality of a system Sony's ever made. And it just speaks to us consumers how fucking stupid we are that 86.1 million or whatever, 81.6 million of them have been sold because we're fucking stupid. The system is garbage quality-wise. But anyways, that's my Jurassic Park collection across all consoles, man. I hope you guys have enjoyed these videos. See y'all when I see you, man. Like I said, if you want any other collection videos or videos about any topic, you know, put them in the comment section, and I'll do what I can to do that for y'all, man. God bless y'all. Stay gaming. Peace.